What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and in this video we're breaking down all 19 guns for Apex Legends, basically to give you the information so you can figure out what is the best gun for you. What's the gun that you want to have with you at all times in this Battle Royale game. So how this is going to be broken down is we're going to focus in on the light ammo weapons first. We're going to talk about their base body damage, their headshot damage, their full clip damage, as well as their recoil for each gun. Now in the description below of this video, we're going to give timestamps for the light weapons, the heavy, the shotgun, all of it, so that way you can kind of jump to a section that's best suited for you and your type of play. But without further ado, first let's start with the R301 Carbine. So the R301 Carbine's an assault rifle, and you can see here base body damage putting out 14. And for a headshot, you're gonna see it at 28, and you get that audible feedback for a headshot. Now the clip here is 18, and so if we unload a full clip into just body damage alone, you can see it puts up to 252 damage on a single clip. That's a lot of damage, and obviously you can see that it fires very fast. Now, the thing about the Carbine is it also has a single fire mode. Guns that have a single fire mode, you'll see that in the bottom right hand corner about the gun itself. So I just press left on the D-pad and it changes the mode. Here I can now just tap the target and put out the damage, have a little bit more precision, a little bit more control. As you can see here, reloading my weapon and just holding on the trigger, I have a bit of a vertical, and then you can kind of see it the top starts to kind of go left and right on the recoil. So you want to manage that. You're going to want to control that recoil when using the Carbine. So now in the sniper rifle category, you have a G7 Scout. This has got a clip of 10 and just a body shot here at 30. And then you can see a headshot here pulling in 60 damage. You have a quick trigger pull, so you actually don't have much recoil. You can see here it's very steady and easy to aim. It does go up and slide to the right, and obviously hitting all 10, you're going to put out 300 damage on your target for body shots alone. That would be 600 for a full clip if it's just nothing but headshots, and I would doubt that any one individual is going to have 600 health just on their head alone, but you never know, right? So that is the G7 Scout, and again, it uses light ammo, and it starts with a base of 10. So getting this lined up is going to put out lots of damage for you. Enjoy. All right, so now let's shift over into the Alternator. Clip of 16, base attack, 13 damage for a body shot, 19 damage for a headshot. This has a pure vertical recoil. You can see here just going straight up. Now, if I keep this locked on the target itself, fighting the vertical, you can see 208 damage total. There's no alternate fire for this SMG, the Alternator. Now, the next SMG we have here is the R99. This has a clip of 18. And you can see here, it's got a nice quick trigger pull of itself, and that's saying putting out 20. Now, if I just clip it, that's going to be 12 damage on the body. If I just clip the head with one pull, that's going to be 18. But you can see here, it fires very fast. Now, the R99, its recoil, pretty much purely vertical. You can see it kind of has a little waggle up as you get closer to the top. But if you keep it locked in, it's going to fire very fast and put out a lot of damage, especially in terms of the body and the target. But if you keep it locked in place, you can easily put out 216 damage on the target, but it is going to fight you on the recoil. Obviously, getting any kind of attachment is going to help keep that a little bit more steady, but man, it fires really, really fast. So it is a very good gun, especially at close range, to be able to put out a lot of shots really quickly. So next up, we have our first pistol, the P2020. Base damage here on the body is 12. And base damage for the head is 18. Has a clip of 10, and you can actually see it pretty much does not have any recoil. Without doing anything, it's going to stay pretty standard, and you could put up for a whole clip 120 of body damage. When I say no recoil, it is very light, but not having to touch the controller at all, I am continually hitting the body shot on this target. As an initial lift right off the top, but it's pretty powerful and fires very quickly. Now our last pistol here is the RE45. Holding the trigger, this is a fully automatic gun. Now just looking at the base hit, it's at 11, and the base for the headshot is at 16. You have a clip of 15. If you look at, obviously this has got vertical into the right for your recoil each and every time. But if you can keep it locked on your target, you can put out 165 damage really quickly. It's got a very fast rate of fire. But whenever you're trying to fight the recoil, don't forget that it also has that right recoil, so you're going to need to be working and managing it both ways. Okay, so our first gun for our heavy ammo category is going to be the Flatline. This has a clip of 20 and it has a firing mode as well. So you can see single fire mode and auto fire mode. So I'm going to put it into single, and if we look at the base damage for the Flatline, it's at 16 for a body shot and 32 for a headshot. This is very, very powerful for an assault class weapon. Now, if I look at just the recoil, you can see here it goes up and to the left and with a little zigzag to it slightly. But keeping it locked on your target, you put out 320 damage within no time. That is very fast for this gun. And again, with a base 20 shots, again, whether you're single fire or you're multi-fire, you can put out a lot of damage. Single fire, you can see here, the recoil is a lot easier to manage overall. So feel free to kind of play around with it. It is a good gun to pick up. And again, it uses the heavy ammo. Not to be outdone, you have the Hemlok. This is a burst fire gun. It's got 3 shots per trigger pull, or you can switch it to single fire mode. So if we look at just the Hemlok, base damage 18, and then headshot damage at 36 as well. Now, if I use the burst fire, you're gonna see 54 for body shot and 72 for a headshot. Pulling out a full clip, you can see here each pull, it has a slight up, but then it also self-corrects a little bit. So it's easy to kind of stay locked on your target if you give it a nice pacing between each trigger pull. And obviously you can put out well over 300 damage for a full clip doing burst fire. Doing single fire as well. Fires very fast, and you see it at 324 total damage, all body shots. Now back into the SMG category, we have the Prowler. This also is going to put out a burst of 5 bullets per trigger pull. There is no alternate fire, so with 5 bullets going out per trigger pull, you get 4 before you have to reload. Putting it just on the body alone for that, you can see 70 damage right there. You can obviously see with the recoil that it's easily to be able to go up and put out some headshot damage as well. So if you're aiming for the body, you might actually finish them off with a headshot. So just keep that in mind for the Prowler itself. Now, headshot alone, you're going to see anywhere from 42 to even 84 damage total depending on where you line up your target. So the Prowler is very powerful, but this is also an SMG, and the recoil is going to be what kind of differentiates you from other players. But you can easily see here putting out 70 per each pull. This has a lot of power to it, and I would highly recommend it, especially in close quarters combat where they don't have a lot of room to run. Now next up we have the Longbow. This has got a clip of 5, and it has a slow rate of fire, but one pull you can see for a body shot at 55 and a headshot, ooh, at 110. That is devastating to anybody that you're focusing in on. But if you look at me just pulling the trigger here, that is as fast as it goes. You have to wait between trigger pulls because it is not as fast as obviously the other guns. So that is the disadvantage here. So if I try to put out all 5 shots here, it happens so fast that the system is not going to total it up as a whole. But that's okay because it all adds up and puts out a lot of damage. And you can see from the recoil perspective, without fighting it on the controller, it's got up and to the right. There it's going to pull. So you just note that from whenever you're pulling the trigger. It's going to pull up to the right, and then it's going to recenter itself back to where you're aiming. So now it's time for the M600 Spitfire. This is another LMG, and you're going to see here if I pull the trigger, it's got 20 base damage for the trigger pull, and for the headshot, 40. So that's a really decent powerful hit for your body and for your headshot. Now as an LMG, I can hold down the trigger and you're going to see obviously the recoil moving up and to the left and right. Let me show you guys that again. So it's going to kind of bounce up and to the right and continue from there. So obviously releasing will reset you back to your base position. With a clip of 35, if you're able to manage to keep it on target, you can put out a lot of damage in a very short amount of time because you're going to get battling the recoil here. So just kind of play around with that, have a good time, and have some fun. 700 damage, baby. That's my high score right so far. And lastly, in our power ammo, we have the last pistol, which is the Wingman. So for the Wingman, if we look at our base damage, 45 on the body, 90 on a headshot. Very devastating all in. So you have a clip of 6. So if we look at just this recoil alone, you can see pretty much it stays spot on. If I fire it much faster, it looks slightly up and to the right, but it's able to fire, obviously at a little slower rate, not so that it totals up together, but it stays pretty much locked on. This is a very powerful pistol. I highly recommend using it if you like pistols. So in our energy ammo category, we have the Devotion. This has got a clip of 44. This is a large clip for an LMG. One trigger pull for the body is at 17 base damage. Headshot is 34 likewise. Now, if we go ahead and just unload it here on this target and we look at the recoil, you can see it fires and it gets faster as it fires and continues to move up and then to the left and then eventually the right. This gun gets faster as you hold it using that electric and becomes harder to aim on target. But 748 is not a bad score for just a clip of 44. So just keep that in mind and learn to control it, and you're going to be able to really obviously devastate somebody with the Devotion. Now our last weapon in the energy category as of release is the Triple Take. This is a sniper rifle with base damage 69 on the body and 138 for a headshot. This is really powerful. If we look at just putting out body damage, you can see it fires very slowly, so it's not a quick fire sniper rifle, but it can put out a lot of damage and it makes that wonderful, beautiful sound. So you have a base clip of 5, so just keep that in mind. Line up your shots, take them out. So now we're into our shotgun category. Our first up is the EVA 8 Auto. Holding it down, you're going to keep firing as long as you hold the trigger down. You can see it has a kick up and to the left for your recoil. So for the EV8, base damage 63 on the body, 87 for a headshot, even up to 90 if you obviously get more headshot in the game, being that this is a shotgun. Now again, because it's going to have that kickback, managing it, you can put out a lot of damage really fast with this shotgun. This is perfect if you're surrounded, you got a lot of things going on. Again, just manage the recoil and you're going to do just fine with the EV8. Next up, we got the Peacekeeper with base body damage. Boom, 110. Base headshot. Boom, 165. This is not automatic, so you're going to have to keep pressing the trigger pull each and every time. But you're able to put out a lot of damage. This is actually one of my most favorite guns as far as shotguns go in the game in and of itself. So I really enjoy finding a Peacekeeper out there in the world. Now the last shotgun you actually have access to is a pistol type shotgun. It's got a clip of 3. Base body damage here at 45, while headshot damage pulling in 66. The only downside about this is that if you're not up close and personal, if you're not going to get the kill and you're going to have to reload, you're really going to be in a world of hurt. So just keep that in mind whenever it comes down to it. This fires really quickly, so in the heat of it, you can end up easily finding yourself obviously without anything left to do. Now this is going to be a great secondary if you got some damage out them already, but I would not recommend that personally unless you're going to be able to knock them down with it, because reloading is just the worst. And you can see here that it does not take an extended clip. And finally, our legendary weapons. Right now we have the Mastiff and the Kraber. First up is the Mastiff. It is a shotgun of legendary ammo category, so you get 4 shots per clip. Base damage for a body shot, 144. This is going to wreck people. But obviously this is a little bit more rare, so you're not going to see it all the time. Headshot, ooh, 252. Feels good. It feels so good. So just keep that in mind. If you find this guy, get used to him. Get used to the kickback that he has. He's pretty straight on. This is a weapon of mass destruction. And you can see here, very straightforward and easy to aim. Fast to reload. And fast enough to really put out a lot of damage quickly. But again, clip of 4, that is the balance here, is that you're going to run out. And also it uses its own special ammo. So once you're out, you're out. And finally, our last weapon here is the Kraber. This is a legendary sniper rifle. If we look at just at the core base damage, putting it out on the target, 125 for a body shot with the Kraber, 250 for a headshot with it. You get a clip of 4, and this has its own scope built into it as a legendary. Now, every time you fire, it's going to take you out of your zoom to ready your next shot. So this is the balance that you're going to have and use with this weapon. So have a good time with your Kraber if you get a hold of it, but also make sure you practice your aiming and so on. Now, as far as the recoil goes, you can see that it has a kick up to the up and right as far as anything goes. But that is the Kraber, that is the Mastiff, that is all the weapons by their ammo category. For Work to Game, this has been Brian. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any tips for new players in the comments below. I look forward to having that conversation with you. But I hope, until then, you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. But, like I said, take care. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's me, Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're new here, we hope you hit that subscribe button. Check us out. We talk a lot about video games, and we hope to at least hear from you in the comments below. We also try to respond to our comments. You know, we really appreciate the comments, the discussion, all the various points of view that everybody is so kindly, I guess, and politely or impolitely shares with us from time to time. So anyway, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. We hope you hit that like button. We hope you hit that subscribe button. Come back for more content each and every day. We post a lot around here, and we'd love to hear from you about what you like about video games and everything, and especially if you have any questions that you're stuck on in anything. So anyway, signing off. See you next time.